This is the 8th video in my series on classical games from the 19th and early 20th century. This game was played in 1857 in the First American Chess Congress. Paul Morphy and Alexander Beaufort Meek met in the quarter-finals. This was the second game of their match. Morphy was white and Meek was black. The game started with Meek adopting the hippopotamus defence. e4, e6, d4, g6, bishop d3, bishop g7, bishop e3, knight e7, knight e2, b6, knight d2, bishop b7, castles. Perhaps Meek thought that Morphy would be less sure of himself in a closed game as opposed to the open games that usually featured when he played. However, Morphy also proves capable of building an attack slowly and methodically. Now, d6 will continue with the hippopotamus strategy, but instead Meek chose d5. This takes play into an inferior version of the French defence. e5. White now has a big space advantage, which black is unable to contest. Castles. The king will not be safe on the king side, but it was not safe in the centre or the queen side either. f4. White intends g4 followed by f5. f5. Black blocks f5, but now white can play to open the g-file. h3, knight d7, king h2. White prepares g4 combined with rook g1, attacking down the g-file. c5, c3, c4, bishop c2, a6, knight f3, h6, g4, king h7, rook g1, rook g8, queen e1. White intends to bring the queen into the attack via g3 or h4. Knight c6, knight h4. White now eyes a sacrifice on g6. Queen f8, knight takes g6. This breaks through decisively. King takes g6, g takes f5 check. Now, king h7, f6 check wins back the piece with interest. F takes e6 check is also possible. King h5 loses to rook g4, intending queen h4 or knight g3 mate. Black cannot avoid mate on the next move. So black instead moved his king to f7. Play went f takes e6 check, king takes e6. Now white has various ways to win. For instance, bishop h7, rook h8, queen g3 is one possibility, intending rook takes h7, queen g6 check, forking the king and rook. Morphy chose, instead of bishop h7, to play f5 check, and now white's pawns are too strong. King e7, queen h4 check. White doesn't rush to regain the piece, instead bringing up his queen. King e8, f6. Now black decided to return the pieces. Bishop h8, rook takes g8, queen takes g8, rook g1, crashes through. But after bishop takes f6, e takes f6, rook takes g1, rook takes g1, knight takes f6. Although black restores material equality, his king is too exposed. Morphy finished things off quickly. Bishop g6 check, king d7, bishop f5 check, king e8, bishop takes h6, queen h8, rook g7, knight g8, and black resigned without waiting for white's reply, as it is now mate in 3. There are in fact two ways of delivering mate in 3. One is bishop g6 check, king f8, queen f2 check, knight f6, queen takes f6 mate, and the other is bishop d7 check, king f8, queen f2 check, knight f6, queen takes f6 mate.